to. I think it's going to be great to meet him. He's, from what I understand, quite eccentric. All right, so the reason for Peter finally twisted my arm hard enough to get me to do this, and I'm not confident that we'll get through it, because sometimes I have luck and sometimes I don't. So this is what we're going to aim for tonight. This is a Bowline in a bourbon bottle. This happens to be a Four Roses bourbon bottle. I really like these bottles, but unfortunately, I didn't have another empty or even another full one to empty myself. So instead, we're going to try it with this bottle, which happens to be a tequila bottle, and hopefully it'll work out for us. Things that you would need if you're going to use a bottle, or if you're going to put a Bowline in a bottle like this. I am using hemp twine that I got from R&W Rope. It is 12 millimeters, which is just shy of half an inch. Really nice stuff, easy to work with on the hands. I really like it. It's a bit expensive, but you know, you use it sparingly, and yeah, it turns out really nice products. So to get started, you also need a few tools that you kind of build, and you might find that the tool that you're using this time won't work for the next one because the bottle is a different shape and you'll have to make something different. But the first one of these that I ever made, all I used was chopsticks. And in fact, what I had to do was I had to lash two chopsticks together like this. And I ended up using 4 in order to do this. And that was in a really difficult bottle. It was a Woodford Reserve bottle, which is a very narrow and wide bottle. And it was very difficult to maneuver things. So I like now a more round bulbous bottle, so you have more room to move the tool around and move the line around inside the bottle. And I also have formed a couple coat hangers with hooks on the end to push and pull and try to get things in the right location. So to get started, what I tend to do is I take a piece of line and I tie a Bowline roughly about the size of what I think is going to go in the bottle. And then I cut off the line just a little bit longer than what I need. That way I know that I have enough. And then I affix, this is one of the tricks. I attach a smaller line that's a lot more flexible. This is some of Beagle-based cotton, I believe. And I attach it to the end of the line, kind of like a messenger line. And then the other thing I do is I make sure that I put a nice whipping on the end, because it's going to be down in that bottle forever now. You want it to look nice. Speaking of that, you want to make sure your bottle is perfectly clean on the inside, because you're never going to be able to clean it again. So get it nice and clean. Now the next trick, this could be done a couple of ways. What I do is I use a little bit of Elmer's glue, and I make an eye with that Elmer's glue to hold it. I have toyed with the idea of just putting a single or double turn seizing on there that I could later cut with a razor blade or an X-Acto knife, but I think that's just going to be too difficult. I know that's something that the ship in a bottle sort of people use. You know, they'll use threads and then cut those threads later. But I think this really works out very well. And so, like I said, the first time I did this, I tied the Bowline like I would tie it in my hand. except it was in the bottle. And about 2 years ago, I was on a work trip to Sasebo, Japan, and I looked up a fellow there who I actually had done a small article about him in Knotting Matters, where I'd put this large knot board that was in a bar out in town in Sasebo. Took pictures of it, and then I had to do the research and find out who this gentleman was. And through reaching out through other expats that were in the area, I finally figured out who he was. And he was a retired bosun who lives in Sasebo. And I reached out to him, and he graciously met me. And we spent 2 or 3 hours just sitting and chatting and tying knots. It was a wonderful experience. And it was funny, the places that I went on base and out in town, many of them had Bolin's in bottles, and they all said that they came from him. So he agreed to show me his trick, and so this is actually Bosun John Riley's trick, and is to form the eye, and you tie the bowline rather backwards than what you normally would. You start by shoving the eye down into the bottle, and then once you get it down there, you form your loop and tuck the eye through the loop, and then have to stuff the rest of the line down inside the bottle and fish your smaller line up through the bite. So that's what we're going to try to do here. We'll see how we go. So I think I'm kind of using your edge method there, bud. Talk about it, explain it, demonstrate, and then you guys are going to have to do it on your own. So let's see how this goes. All right. So you have to make sure that the line that you're using when you double it over will fit in the bottle. This just barely fits. Here we go. All right, at this point, I'm going to reach in and try to open that eye up a little bit. This is where it helps to, I don't know, have 3 hands. And I warn you, don't try to do this directly after finishing the bottle of bourbon. It doesn't work. Yeah, these are just the free cheapo chopsticks. Go, we're getting there. All right. Now we're going to try to get the eye to come back up, oriented in the upwards fashion, like this. Stuff some more line down there. And oops. Never done this with an audience before. Has anybody else done this before? So I saw it done in France once, and the gentleman that was doing it had very special tools that he made out of brass. He had a brass tube, and he ran 2 metal rods down that brass tube, essentially turned it into these articulated forceps that he was able to use like tweezers to grab a hold of it. And maybe that is a better method. I don't know, but
But what are you trying to do right now?
so what I'm trying to do is to make a loop in the line that I'm feeding into the bottle. There, I've got a loop formed right here. And then I'm going to try to get the eye to go through that loop. Okay. Well, yeah, and I decided, well, let's just see if anybody would buy one of these. So I put one on Facebook Marketplace about 6 months ago, and within a day I had a hit. Some guy was on a boat passing through Panama City, and he saw it and he wanted it for decoration on his boat. So gave me $40 for it.
Are we gonna see this on the fundraiser table?
I don't know. We'll see if it gets finished. So it's
Jim?
Jim.
You can
Yes.
buy more cool.
Yeah, it sounds like $40. You can get another bottle and
Yeah, that's right.
a little left over.
That's right.
It's a win-win situation.
That's right. All right, come on. It's definitely fiddly. Part of it's luck, I think.
There it goes.
And we're getting a little closer.
I think you have more patience than me, Jim.
The frustration that I had tying my knot in the bottle, I tell you, sometimes you have to put it down and
Yeah.
then come back
I think
and pick it up later. But I finally succeeded and made a couple. I sold a couple too in my farmer's market. So people are fascinated, you know, they put them on their mantelpieces, you know, along with my big monkey's fist and doorstops I make.
yeah, I keep one at work on my desk. It's a great conversation piece. All right, We're really getting close here, if you can see.
Yep.
Yeah, what kind of price were you able to fetch there, Keith?
Well, I did it in mine's done with Dockline. So I was able to get like $48 for mine. But I embellished a really nice Turk's head on that particular one. The more I've been around the guild, and I've been a member since 1995, I've never found a more generous group of people that absolutely spend a tremendous amount of time tying their craft, and they give it away. And I too am guilty. I give a lot of my knots away to kids or other people that I just embellish, whether it be my waitress at the restaurant. So, but I find that the guild members are very, very generous with their crafts.
I'd agree.
I'll have to agree with that. I take all my dad's knots that he makes. I might have a key ring full of knots.
Oh, come on. Oh, don't lose it.
This is for Bud. Hey, Bud, you mentioned earlier, I do sell my knots and I do charge for my splicing services that I do. And I hope Randy does as well. But I think one of the greatest outlets I have is go to your local farmer's market. They're about a 4-hour window of selling. It's usually on a weekend, a Saturday or a Sunday. Sometimes there's other markets that they hold midweek. But you just don't be impatient. Put it out there and talk to people. You know, that's what our guild members do. We're famous for teaching and showing people. But I found my local farmers markets to be very, very beneficial. I've been doing mine here in Charleston, South Carolina for 18 years. So.
Oh, that's great.
There we go. It just take me a little bit more time to fair it up and try to make it a little bit nicer in that bottle, but we got it.
That's fantastic.
Excellent.
Very
Nice.
good.
Nice job.
Nice job, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not sleeping tonight.
So, and then I'd like to do
On the bottle.
I really like to do a Matthew Walker on the top as a stopper, and then another nice whipping on top of that. And it sits nicely on there.
Jim, what did you do in the Navy? What was your MOS?
I was an electronics technician, ETC, chief when I got out. And it's funny because people will walk in my office who were in the Navy and they call me bosun mate. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I get that all the time at the market. Were you a bosun's mate? And I told them I wasn't smart enough, you know.
Yeah.
My knot in the bottle is here. This is mine that I did. And I have a regular wine bottle. This is a wine bottle that I did. And I put mine in. And I had a heck of a time keeping it stable inside the bottle. So being a Navy corpsman, I went around and I ended up, you can see where the white line is coming into here. I actually sutured it inside the bottle.
There you go.
So there are several Marines that still have my sutures in them from 54 years ago.
So,
Jim,
yes.
let's see. The camera's not going to do it. I had a gentleman give me one of these at one of the Knot Tire conventions, but he said his secret, I don't know if you can see this or not, this is about the extent of my artistic ability. He would take a clothes hanger and then bend it like you see there at the bottom, about the same diameter as the cord. And this helped him to, hold down the bite while you were tensioning it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you want to add to your toolbox or not.
Yeah, I think I'll try
So
that.
that was his secret. He did his a bit differently. But he told me, he gave it to me, but he said I had to tie a Turk's head to put on the stopper. So
I thought he gave that to me.
that part's mine.
I thought
So-
he gave that to me.
So my wife is correcting me. You gave it to her. But
So-
I still had to make the Turk's head.
I gotta get things right.
So I've seen some of these
Like they're
before
here.
done in longer bottles, like wine bottles, and they will add a Turk's head around the bottom here. I recommend you don't do that because everybody's going to think that you cut the bottle off
Got the bottle.
and then reattached it and are hiding the cut with the Turk's head.
No, no Turk's head.
Well, actually, that went a lot faster than I thought it was going to go. So
That's funny.
I may have
Can
broken
you
a record.
untie it in there, Tim?
Say again?
Can you untie it in there?
Oh, well, I actually probably could. I untied the one that was in the Woodford Reserve because I wasn't happy with it. So yeah, you probably could.
Keep it in the fridge.
So, any questions? Well, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Happy
welcome.
nodding to everybody.
Yeah, thanks for showing us
Yeah,
that. That's
that's-
what
You're quite welcome.
Ooh.
That was great. I've got something to work on until next time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I
Very
hope
nice, Keith.
hope to see as many of you as possible in San Diego. I was just looking here. It looks like we have 12 registered now for the meeting online. And say again? Yeah, it just opened
Okay.
today, so that's pretty
There'll
good.
be 14 registered in a couple minutes.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they want to share this evening, or any projects they're working on, or?
Yeah, of course, you know we do.
Yep.
You should already know.
I'm sorry,
So,
Don.
Dad has been working on this. He's gonna take it apart and redo it, but it's all the cord that we've made here. It's all one piece.
It's from the Ashley's book, 2367, the priest chords.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been trying to figure out the length. And I ran short on one leg, and then I got to figure out a different color to go with this royal blue. But it's all tightly laid, about 3/16 diameter cord that we made, so it's not bad first go around.
And when it gets done, it'll be in my room.
Very nice.
But anyway, it's something I've been wanting to try. Try one of them priest chords that are mentioned in the Ashley's book, with the 5 different knots in it. So, yeah, something to do in the evening time.
Yeah, I think I just saw, was it from Therese? You made a comment, was it about World Knot Tying Day on September 18th?
Yeah, so we'll miss it. We'll have missed it for our next meeting. So if anyone wants to participate in that and maybe take a picture of them doing something out in public, and it'd be nice to send that in.
Yeah, send it to the Interknot, send it to the to Knotting Matters, post it on Facebook, whatever. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, World Knot Tying Day is actually a topic on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. Anything else, anybody? Anybody would just want to hang out? I'll hang out as long as anybody else wants to.
Oh,
Just
that's-
want to say hi to Terry out there.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Hey, Dan, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You got your bag of knots handy, star knots?
Yeah. Right here, we're almost at 365 one day, then they'll all go
One
on a
day.
frame.
Good deal, good deal. I like it.
Work's been crazy, so I haven't had time to do projects, sitting
Oh, look
outside
at
doing
that.
construction.
Look at that, Keith. That's pretty sharp. John, once an eagle, always an eagle.
That's right.
Well, this is more of a wood badge thing.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh,
I'm a bear.
yep.
So
No.
soaring eagles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We better not break into the song though.
No, we better not.